Good morning, everyone. Here we are. Today, we're bringing you a special podcast which has been in the works for months already. You've heard Daryl Daniels, you've heard Lucky Udalakis, you've heard Jacques Stradum, and many others talking about Indigo. Indigo's my sponsor. Indigo. So who is Indigo? Well, I'm going to tell you who Indigo is. We're joined by Shane, the man behind Indigo, and he's going to tell us more about Indigo and himself. Good morning.
Hello, Joe. How are you doing?
Shane, good to see you, man. We know each other. We've met each other loads of times. And
Yeah.
I think it's time now for everybody to understand exactly why Indigo is becoming more and more talked about in South Africa, definitely in the equine world. But from Glycian Wellness, Glycian Events, and Glycian Racing's perspective, we know that those are three touch points that we're involved with Indigo. And I think people need to know more about it. So come on, tell us about Indigo. Tell us about Shane.
Joe, Indigo started about 8 years ago. We started out in the health and sports supplement industry. And we had great success. We had a good run of products. And then we were approached by the World Powerlifting Confederation. I was competing with them, and they asked if we had a product for athletes for joint protection. We didn't have, but we formulated one. And through various interactions, I got chatting to Garth Puller.
Oh,
And Garth Puller had heard about the products and he wanted to try it on one of his racehorses. Red Magician was the horse. So I sent some of our supplement down to Garth. He tried it, and must have been 5 weeks later, I got a phone call from him. And he said the product's brilliant. So I, in a cheeky fashion, asked him for a testimonial for Facebook.
right.
And to my surprise, he said to me, I'll go one better. He said, I'll write you a letter of recommendation on my letterhead, which he did.
Well, Garth Puller, right. It's fantastic. Well done, Garth.
And yeah, Garth was instrumental in getting us going. We then went back to the drawing board and we reformulated an equine and a veterinary range of products. And Garth put me in touch with Glenn Kotson, who then mentioned it to Peter Muscat. And it snowballed from then. And we make some really good equine products. A joint boost, we do a joint gut health product, we do an equine whey product, we do something for bleeders, we do a really good wound care range. So that's in essence the equine side of it, but we've kept our health and sports supplement part of it going. And then, like you said, Glycian Wellness, we've got some products that you guys are doing a little bit of a trial on at the moment. And yeah, from a health and sports supplement point of view, I've got some health issues which I'm using some of our own products. And yeah, the results are good. That's in a nutshell what Indigo is about.
And Shane, I'm going to say that it works, right? So let's just go to it works. So we've got endorsements from all those people that you've mentioned. I'm assuming it's locally manufactured in South Africa?
Correct. Everything's locally manufactured.
Everything's locally manufactured. Everything's compliant with National Horse Racing Authority rules, regulations, all of that stuff. It ticks all the boxes.
It does.
And compared to other stuff out there, I'm assuming that it's competitively priced.
Mm-hmm. Just to answer from a compliance point of view, I've actually sent the National Horse Racing Authority's lab. I sent our labels to them, and they've come back and they said it's all above board. We're actually now waiting for an Act 36 application from the Department of Agriculture. It's a long process, it's an arduous process, but we're doing it. We should be getting a V number now anytime soon.
Fantastic.
Pricing is extremely competitive, but the other thing that makes us really, really cost effective is that our feeding protocols are minimal. Competitors are feeding 50 grams at a time. We feed 10 grams of the product.
Okay.
So much more. And as you say, it works. We've got so many testimonials. I mean, we sponsor Washong Mowing, Wayo Mowing, Reeves Racing, Jacques Stradum, and Lucky Udalakis. And they wouldn't be using the products if they didn't work.
Yeah, definitely. And okay, so we'll come back to the racing side of it because I think it's more important that people understand the human side first, because really that's the foundation where your company was built, right?
Correct.
So it's good enough for humans. And what are those products that you're currently doing for humans that you can say, listen, try this, it's really going to be good for you?
Okay. Yes, every one of our products that we give to the horses are fit for human consumption.
Well,
All of our products are SAPA registered,
okay.
so there's no funnies. We've taken a very big product range and shrunk it down, and I'll tell you why now. I got diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago.
Okay.
Colon, liver, lungs, and pelvis, stage 4. I had surgery to remove a colon tumor off my colon, and I've got no colostomy bags and all that, thank goodness. But I went to see the oncologist. I have had one chemo session. I'll never do it again. But that's everybody's personal choice. I'm not here to advocate, don't do this, don't do that. But I went on to a metabolic protocol, which included some of our products. And this is where, I don't know if you can see that. There you go.
Excellent. Yes. I use it.
Now, this device is a life-changing piece of equipment. It's been through a full published clinical trial. We had 151 people on the trial. 80% of them finished the trial. And part of the trial participants were the South African rugby team and the Sharks.
Okay.
At the time of the trial, Dr. Craig Roberts, who's now at Chelsea football team, he wrote the dissertation on this device.
Okay.
So it's proven, scientifically proven. It'll improve your peak performance output by 13.7%. So for any athlete that wants to improve his performance, this is the device. But then what happened is you see lung function problems, i.e. lung cancer, asthma, COPD, emphysema, sleep apnea, the list goes on and on and on. This is a life-changing piece of equipment. It really is. I can't speak highly enough of this. I've been using this thing from when I had the surgery. The last PET scan that I had, the oncologist said to me, your tumors in your lungs are cavitating. I said, what does that mean? He said, they're dying.
Sure.
And he said to me, you're not coughing. I said, no, I'm not. He said, you're not in pain. But no, I never felt better. So this is a remarkable piece of equipment.
Yeah, and I can testify that I bought one from you, or you gave me one. I can't really.
I gave you one, yeah.
Gave me one, and I mean the thing works. Like,
are you using it now?
I use it.
Oh, good.
The thing definitely works. I think it's fantastic. I think that for those viewers that have watched up until now, click on the link that we've posted in the bio, and that'll take you to Indigo's website. It's not a sales pitch. I'm saying try this thing out. It's not a lot of money, and it works. I mean, you will breathe better, 100%. Well, 13 point something percent before they quote us. Yeah.
And you know what?
You're not going to suck on the X lung and hold your breath for 18 minutes. That's not going to happen.
It's simple. Can I show you how to use it?
Why not?
Okay. It's as simple as this. Take the device out of your thing, put it in your mouth.
Hold your breath for 30 seconds. You can't speak now, but I know the rules.
That's it. Put it back in. And you do that, you know what, 20 inhalations a day, or sit for 5 minutes in front of your desk or when you're in the car. It's that simple.
Correct.
And you know what, Joe, like you and I were chatting about it, it's a one-off purchase. There's no battery charging, no fluids that go in it. So that we do a really good joint supplement called Joint Boost.
Yeah.
We do an osteotherapy, a gut health, and that's the product that Afia's trying at your clinic in Alberton.
Correct. I'm trying one of your products. I didn't know I was going to do this. Hold on.
Oh, yes, that one.
I thought this was a bit cheeky, but I took it in good spirit.
Yeah.
Ultimate regrow for me.
Yes.
So I then read the small print. I thought, because, my podcasts are a bit out there. I didn't know what part of me was going to grow.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, it's my hair.
But and that, I mean, have you noticed any difference in your hair?
So, to be honest with you, you dropped it off and I
Yeah.
was traveling. So I literally took the first tablet yesterday.
Okay.
Okay. Last night, actually. So no is the answer,
Okay.
but only because I was in South Africa. You dropped this off at the wellness center. It got
Yes.
bundled into a box of goods, and the box was only unpacked when I got back now. So, but will I be using it? 100%. Do I believe that it works? 100%. Why only 90 capsules? Oh, I know you want me to buy more. I get it. I get it. I get it. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, I mean, that product that you've got there, we
Yeah.
do one for men and we do one for ladies. I
Okay.
did a 4-month trial when I was living in Durban. 25 ladies and 5 men on the trial. The men that were on the trial are still buying it. It's good for your prostate as well. There's an
Okay.
ingredient there called sol palmito. So it's not just going to benefit the hair, it'll benefit the joints as well and your prostate. So
Okay.
good product.
So it ticks a lot of boxes. And
Yeah,
again, it's natural, it's good for you, and it's made in South Africa.
correct.
Right. Now, the joint thing I'm quite interested in because I'm 55 and some of my
Yeah.
knees are creaking a little bit, or some, both my knees actually.
Mm,
But funnily enough, the joint stuff is what led you to golf puller, is what led you to the racehorses.
correct.
Right. And for all of those people out there in horse racing all over the world that are watching this, we know that joints are an issue. And if we can alleviate that issue or eliminate that issue, then we're heading in the right direction. So I know that there's a couple of specific horses that you can mention that you already mentioned the one with Golf Puller. I'm sure there's one with Jacques Stradum as well. Right. So in South Africa, we have something called load shedding, which kicks in every now and then. That's why Shane froze. Shane,
You know,
um,
fun and games. But you know what, just to interrupt, you're right. If you can alleviate the joints, and joint health is good. Now, what we've done is when we formulated the equine and the veterinary side of it, we sat down and said, all right, there's somebody on top of that horse. There's a jockey, a show jumper, an endurance rider. They've also got joints. They've also
right.
got lungs. So yeah, we want to cater for both horse and
Yes,
rider.
and you do. And we'll come back to the human side of it, but I just wanted to link the joints back to the horses. So um, you've done the horse with Golf Puller, you've
Yeah.
done other horses, and there's a horse with Jacques Stradum, for example, that
Yes.
couldn't get down to the start. Jacques put him on this treatment, and
Yes.
not only did he go to the start, he actually ended up winning that race. And that
I
was,
think it was euphoric.
I'm pretty sure it was euphoric. Pierre rode him that
Yes.
day. And
It was euphoric, yes.
yeah, and Jacques has continued to use your product. So um, for the owners watching this,
Yeah.
we should all be telling our trainers, use Indigo. Okay.
I love that, yes.
Yeah, of course. So in your opinion, where's the barrier been? Because if it works, right? So let's do a little bit of a where's the barrier been? Is it exposure? Is it people are used to what they used to? But I mean, we've seen results in personal, I've seen results. So how do we get your product out better?
I think it's exposure that's very important. And it's, you know what, you come into the marketplace, nobody's going to just start buying your product overnight. You've got to earn your stripes, so to say. And you know what? I think a lot of the products, in fact, I know the products that are on the market now contain glucosamine and chondroitin.
Okay.
Those are derived from animal cartilage, and there are certain side effects in that. Ours is not. We have nothing in there like that.
Yes,
We've
because
got
the podcast hasn't even gone out and the orders are coming in.
No, that actually is, and we'll touch on this later. It's from an engineering company in Durban that is doing some exciting work for us, but we'll talk about that just now. So we've got no glucosamine and no chondroitin in our products. People have become, and you know what it is? It's the mindset is we've used that and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little bit hesitant to change. And
Try
that.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had a vet that's up in the Vaal area. She got hold of me and she said, "Listen, I was using a product on a horse with ulcers. We had issues with it. It's expensive." And Natalie Houdelakis said, "Try Indigo's Equine Meringamin." She said, "I tried it and it worked." So, Natalie and Lucky have been brilliant. Jacques Stradom, same thing. The yards that are using our product, fantastic.
Yeah.
They
Well,
do. So yeah, but it's exposure and it's education. And that's kind
education,
of what we're working.
communication, education, and whatever.
Mm.
So typically, how long would a course be? Do you just sell the product, or do you say, listen, you got to give it for 15 treatments or whatever? Maybe there's a fear. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Maybe,
Yeah, no, of course.
maybe there's a fear of going, okay, I know what to do with what I'm currently using. I don't know what to do with this. So is there a tutorial, for want of a better word?
Yeah, I mean, we can, the trainers will use it. Everything's on the label. It's as simple as taking it out and feeding the horse, or feeding the dog, the cat, or the tiger, or the lion, for example. And because it's a natural product, you don't have to give it for a certain period of time and then stop. You can continue with it, which is what the likes of Peter Muscat, Louis Goosen, those trainers, they buy every month.
Okay.
So they just continue and carry on with it.
Right.
There's nothing, and I'm always available for questions and answers, but everything's on the label. It's as easy as falling off a log.
Fair enough. So I think one of the things we got to achieve with this podcast today is communicating with more owners, because almost the owner would want to have less vet bills, less aggravation with their horses, all of these things. So if anything comes of this, let's hope that a lot of owners drive this, and we go to our trainers and say, listen, just give Shane a call and let's put our horse on whatever. Right.
Okay. Well, that would be brilliant.
So we've discussed the horses, we've discussed the humans, but actually we can specifically speak about a certain human now, Daryl Daniels. So
yes.
What has your product done for him as a jockey at his age, coming back from not riding for a while?
You know, when Peter Muscat said to me, would I be prepared to sponsor a jockey? And I thought, right, yeah, let's do it. And he introduced me to Daryl. And I'm not saying this because it's a podcast. It's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Daryl is phenomenal. And I've yet to hear anybody speak bad of him. He's using our joint boost, our regen. He's using our Moringa liquid. Daryl's riding with a hip replacement.
Yeah.
And he's winning. He's going to bankrupt me if he carries on winning as much as he is in Zimbabwe. He's actually going up there on the weekend. But yeah, Daryl speaks highly about products.
Yeah.
He's got an X-Lung. But we also sponsor Devon Ashby. Devon had a fall a little while ago and broke his arm. And he said to me, afterwards, I've been using the X-Lung. And he said, if it wasn't for this X-Lung, I wouldn't have done this interview. Chase Moujon, we've just taken him on as a jockey. Now, Chase broke his leg a year or two ago, and he was saying to me he's got pain in his leg. So he's using our joint boost and regen. He sent me a message 2 weeks ago. He said the pain's gone. We sponsor a Mr. Universe, IBFF, Mr. Universe. He won it last year, Kobus van die Kerk. Same thing, contracted COVID during his preparation phase. He's used our Moringa liquid, our immune booster, and an X-Lung. He won the Mr. Universe.
Okay.
We sponsor an EFC fighter now, and he's also doing extremely well. In fact, I was at a media event, and he's in the ring sparring. So in the middle of the sparring session, they stop. Coach goes in his pocket, pulls out an X-Lung and gives it to him. Uses the X-Lung, and off he goes again. Yeah. So, yeah, the athletes that we sponsor, we've got the decent results. But yeah, I must thank all of them for everything that they've done for you
Yeah, and
guys.
it's good to hear that. And now we've reached out to the owners, but all the jockeys that are watching this anywhere in the world, again, click the link above, get hold of us or get hold of Shane and use this. And even if you end up striking a deal with Shane, don't worry about it. Use it, see the results, because the proof is in the pudding. And there's a lot of people eating pudding at the moment because of Indigo. A lot of people, except for Shane. Shane doesn't eat pudding. I know he doesn't. Um,
Yeah. The
Shane,
other thing,
yeah,
I've got Lyle Yurtsen in Hong Kong.
yeah.
He's got an excellent and he's been using it. So we're waiting for some good feedback from Lyle as well.
Okay,
I'm
so
excited to hear what he
yeah,
has to say.
and we've recently started speaking to some of my golfing guys to see if some of their players want to get on board and give it a go. So I think for those watching this podcast today, I'm committing to doing another podcast with Shane in a year's time, and you will notice a big shift in the mindset of people using Indigo. And and I'm totally confident that the results will be positive. Shane, a little bit more. I know you don't stop, and you've just had the engineering company calling you and whatever. You've got other stuff happening on the horizon that
Mm.
really exciting. So over here in the UK, we have a whole lot of technology and innovations specifically with racehorses. So a lot of the trainers in the UK are now using salt rooms. So they took
Mm.
the stable into the salt room, the horse goes in there. After a race, it inhales salty air that helps its breathing get better. We use nebulizers, etc., etc. What are you doing in this space? Because it seems to me like there's a natural flow to what you're about to tell us.
Absolutely. You know, we sat down and the trainers, we've had a lot of trainers that have bought X-Lungs from us. And Peter Muskett's one, Candice Bass bought one for her mom, Wendy Whitehead, and the list goes on and on and on. And I think it was Louis Huerson. He said to me, "Oh, you should have one of these for a horse." And when I walked away from that, I thought, you know what, let me look into this. So we've looked into it. And that telephone call that came through now was from an engineering company in Durban. They're building a prototype for us. So we're going to have what we're going to call Equi-Air. It's an X-lung for the horse.
Okay.
It's going, I mean, and you know what, from a performance point of view, but from a rehabilitation point of view and a recovery point of view, if we can duplicate what we've done for humans, for horses, you just think about that. It's massive.
Yeah. Look,
You know what, and it's all about looking after the animal. That's the important part of it. So we're busy with a prototype. Well, the first one that comes out, we're going to start sending it around to the trainers in South Africa, to show jumpers, to whoever is in the equine industry. And we're going to get, I've got some vets that are going to do the science behind it with us. Professor Andrew Bosch and Dr. Craig Roberts will be involved in it as well. This intellectual property will become Indigo's. And yeah, I really do think that this will set us aside from everybody.
yeah, and you know, I've delved into this before through blankets, funnily enough. Um,
Yes.
and I represented a certain blanket in South Africa for a few years. Unfortunately, it landed in South Africa at about 150 grand at the time. It was
Yeah.
quite ahead of its time, but uh,
Yes.
even though I don't speak to Louis Hurston, he uses that blanket probably still today. And
Yeah.
he was the only one who believed, and he's the only one who bought that blanket from me. Um, we did a deal, no regrets at all. The fact
Yeah.
that he believed in it. But that blanket's total focus is on oxygenation. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
And the patented part of that blanket was instead of the massaging motors being percussion,
Yeah.
they were cyclical.
Okay.
Yeah. And because, so for everybody watching now, there aren't many of those blankets in South Africa because of price, but if you massage somebody like this is percussion.
Yeah.
And if I measured the temperature on my skin there now, and in 10 minutes time, it would get warmer. The warmer it gets, the more oxygen and red blood comes there, right?
Yeah.
And that would, let's say, take 10 minutes to get to 20 degrees. I'm just using an arbitrary number. If I did this, it gets there in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so anything that you can do to a racehorse or a human being to get more oxygen into them, to get the blood moving, it can only be good. No harm can come of it. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where this journey goes with this new product. What are your time frames for that?
I'm not too sure at the moment. I was down in Durban 2 weeks ago, and we started with the design. Everything is in place. So, yeah, and as I say, I was hoping to have some news now before we spoke,
Right.
which I don't. But I'll definitely keep you updated.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be long. This is going to be a patented piece of equipment as well. And we're duplicating what we've done for humans. We know it works. We've proven it without a shadow of a doubt.
Brilliant.
And we can do the same for a horse.
Yeah, brilliant. So anything else you want to tell us, Shane? Anything
Joe,
else
no.
that we've got to
Uh,
keep our eye on? From a Glycerin Racing's perspective,
yes.
I think we will almost be in a position now where we will be working closer with you. I've already reached out to some of my trainers to start using some of the products.
Yeah.
I don't know all the products, of course. I'm particularly keen in what we do in pre-training,
Okay.
bone density.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
um, all of the horses that we have running today have come through our own pre-training program, and our vet bills are negligible compared
Yeah.
to what other people tell me. And that's because I think what we do with our young horses post-sale is key to their longevity in their careers. So I use horses example like a Little Bit Naughty, who had a fantastic career, albeit she was rated quite low at 60 something, but we had no issues with it whatsoever. That comes through preparation, and part of that preparation is what supplements you give them, and how you look after them. So
Yeah.
anything that we can do collectively, I think we should, and we're going to. I'm really excited to go on this journey, or continue on this journey with you, I should say. I think that a lot of people will watch this, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that a lot of people will reach out to you. And I can only wish you continued success, and thank you for reaching out to Garth Pula. And well done, Garth, for taking the call. I mean, not the easiest oak to get hold of, I have to say. But the fact that he was a jockey, that he's a quite accomplished trainer, and that he believes and uses it is what everybody should pay attention to, because he was the catalyst for you getting into horse racing and
Absolutely.
into the equine world. And now the names that you've rattled off, Lucky, Glenn Kotson, Peter Muscat, Louis Huerson, all of these people are using your product. And yeah, I wish you nothing but the best. We'll
Thank
stay
you,
in
Joe.
touch.
All right.
We will schedule another one for a year's time, and
Okay.
we will talk about all the amazing stuff you've done in the last year. And I'm pretty sure we will talk about what your products have done for our string of racehorses in the next year.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Shane.
Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Cheers, mate.